It's just too cute and adorable to get old, right? You have to wonder if Maya was singing You Are the Reason as a breadcrumb. Anyway, on with the show. This is the cross-examination of the forensic specialist, and things get a little bit more exciting as court cases go in this episode. So we shall jump straight into it. Let's go.
Good afternoon, Mr. Garvey.
Good afternoon.
How many vehicles did you find in the house when you were there on January 23, 2021?
I believe there were 3 vehicles at the residence.
Did you take photographs of the vehicles?
Yes, I did take photographs of the vehicles.
Could you tell us what kind of vehicles were there?
There's the truck, the Toyota truck, that was parked in the garage. There was the black Lexus that was parked in the driveway, and then there was a black Jeep that was also parked in the driveway.
Were you able to go into the entire garage, and did you take photographs of the entire garage?
Yes, this truck was moved out of the garage, and the officers searched the entire garage.
Did those officers take more photographs, more than what you did?
No, it's my responsibility to take the photographs.
Since you are responsible as a forensic analyst, is that what they call you? Forensic analyst?
My job title was forensics.
This lady's going to get annoying really fast.
What exactly were you looking for?
That's outside my job duties. My job duties are to photograph the scene and to collect evidence identified by investigators as being relevant to the crime or the search warrant, and then process related prints if it's requested.
So during the January 23, 2021 visit at Mr. Miletti's house, did you collect items inside the house?
Yes, I did.
So did you take photographs of those items?
Yes, I did.
Did you provide those items to counsel?
Surprise, surprise. He's a photographer. He took photos.
Write a report that details the photographs that I've taken, evidence that's collected, and any other duties that I've done at the crime scene. And that report is then funneled through investigators to the DA's office.
Did you take photographs of what's inside the safe deposit box that you showed on the photograph?
Can you repeat that question?
One of the photographs showed a room or a closet that contained a safe deposit box. You recall that picture?
Yes, I recall the safe within the closet, yes.
Did you open that safe deposit box and take a photograph of the contents of the safe deposit box?
I don't remember exactly if I did take a picture of the contents of the safe deposit box within that safe.
You don't remember seeing the interior of the safe deposit box?
I remember seeing the inside of the safe. I don't remember the safe deposit box within the safe.
It's a safe,
Can you
stupid.
describe what you saw inside the safe deposit box?
I don't recall the safe deposit box within the safe. I could describe what was in the safe to the best of my recollection, but I don't remember a safe deposit box within the safe.
Okay, so what did you see? Describe what you saw inside the safe.
Inside the safe were a number of firearms. I believe there was some valuable coins within the safe. There was some digital storage devices like SD cards, memory sticks within that safe. And I believe there was some ammo.
Memory devices. Could be some evidence in those.
Did you see any jewelry inside the safe?
Not that I recall.
Did you see any tapes inside the safe?
Any tapes as in videotapes?
Correct.
Not that I recall.
How about money? Did you see any inside the safe?
Other than what was described as valuable coins within the safe? No.
Did you remove any documents inside the house?
I may have removed some documents as evidence from the house. I would have to refer to my report to clarify.
Can you describe how much evidence of documents you took from the house?
Off the top of my head, no, I cannot. I would need to review my report to give you that answer.
Can you estimate it?
Counsel, would you like them to look at the report so we can
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to enter the master's bedroom in the second floor and exit through a door leading to the balcony that's connected to the master's bedroom?
I don't remember if I exited the main bedroom onto the balcony or not.
So to the best of your recollection, you did not photograph the balcony itself.
I photographed it. We displayed a photograph of the balcony from the backyard.
Right, but from the master's bedroom going out into the door leading to the balcony, do you remember photographing or picturing that space?
No, I don't recall.
During your walk inside and outside of the house, did you see a ladder?
I recall if I saw a ladder or not.
Do you recall taking the photograph of the interior of a shower room in the master's bedroom?
Yes.
And when you entered the shower room in the master's bedroom, what did you observe?
As I entered that bathroom attached to the main bedroom, to the right is a tub. Directly in center of the bathroom is the shower, and to the left would be the vanities, sinks, and a toilet.
Were there any damages to the walls inside the master's bedroom?
There was the walls and ceiling of the bathroom in the main bedroom were unpainted as if they had been refinished. I remember that.
So that's a dead certain sign of something going on. Did he replace all of that ceiling material, or did he strip it back I don't know that he had time to strip it all back. I'm going to imagine he probably had time to replace it, though. Interesting.
There was damage to the door leading to the main bedroom, which was depicted in one of the photographs.
So you're describing a damage to the door as you enter the master's bedroom, correct?
Correct. The
That
main bedroom.
you described has a damage.
It had a patch on the door.
Can you describe the patch? Is it dry? Is it wet? Is it new?
It was dry.
Can you tell if it has been recently repaired?
No.
Did you find any items inside the house that has been broken?
Not that I recall.
Besides the master's bedroom patch that you described, were there any other damages to any of the doors of the house?
Not that I recall.
So here they take a break. I can't remember how long for, but I've cut the video up. Before we go to the next session, I wanted to just let you know that I'm going to play some sound effects in the next session because, I don't know, just to jazz it up and make it a little bit more humorous. But she goes on a bit of a fishing expedition, and so I have some fishing sound effects for this next video.
So the photograph of the exterior of the house, when you took a photograph of the fireplace, were you able to see inside the fireplace if there was some burn material inside the fireplace?
Not when I took that photograph. I didn't look.
Burned material in the fireplace. Interesting. This is the defense introducing this idea. So, I don't know, are they suggesting that Maya burned something in the fireplace? Not sure.
Look inside the fireplace.
Okay, so there were no photographs of the inside of the fireplace.
Not that I recall.
How about inside the house? Did you see a fireplace inside the house?
No, I don't remember a fireplace being inside the house.
She's asking that because she wants to attack his credibility. He doesn't remember seeing a fireplace inside the house. I don't even know if there was one. I didn't see one in the photos, but anyway, I think she's looking to attack his credibility here.
Were you able to photograph the gates on the left hand side and the right hand side? Were there gates exiting towards the front of the house?
Yes, there were gates at the front of the house on both the right and left-hand side. I didn't take specific photographs of those gates, but those gates are in the photographs that I took.
Do you recall if it was easy to exit those gates?
I don't remember trying to go through those gates.
Okay. How about the backyard? Did you see any exit gates in the backyard?
Other than the two that we had just discussed, no, there were not any other exit gates.
Okay. Now, as a forensic specialist, is it part of your job to take photographs of the attic as well?
If I'm asked to take photographs in the attic, yes, I will go and take photographs.
In this case, did you take photographs of the attic?
No, I did not.
Was there a basement in this house?
Not that I believe.
He's definitely fishing for a wrong answer here. And he does the wrong answer, it's a aha. Or if he says, oh, I don't know, then she's like, it's that gotcha moment.
At the time that you took the photographs, were there any residents inside the house?
Yes, there were.
Can you identify those residents?
It was the Maletti family, and I believe one of the parents and spouse of Larry. I believe the parents of Larry were in the residence as well.
Were they exactly in the interior of the house when you were taking the photographs?
They were inside the house the whole time. Yes.
Were they the ones who gave you the description of whose room this particular room is?
No, those descriptions were given to me by the detectives.
Oh. And you were able to label those photographs as you were doing your tour inside the house.
I'm not sure what you're asking.
As you were taking photographs, did you have an opportunity to mark each room to identify them later?
The rooms are identified from the actual photograph.
Meaning
I take a picture of the room and that room is in the photograph. I don't do any other labeling.
Now, I think what she's getting at here is usually you see a little placard, folded placard card with exhibit numbers written on them when there's photographs taken of each of the rooms. So I think she's like having a stab at his professionalism because he didn't use those little placards.
That's what you're asking.
Okay. And you would not be able to describe who was actually occupying a certain room in that house based on your photographs.
Well, there were names of the two children on the doors to the rooms. That would be a good indicator of whose room those were. As far as the main room, I couldn't tell you who was in that room. As far as the extra room,
I reckon we can tell, don't you?
for the room that was on the first floor, I was told by the detectives that it was Larry's parents that were staying in there.
What about the second floor master's bedroom? Were you told by the detectives who was using that room when you took the photographs?
Objection, relevance, hearsay. Can you repeat the question?
At the time that he took the photographs in the master's bedroom, were you able to determine who was in fact using the master's bedroom?
Objection. Well, that's a different question, so I have no objection. You can answer.
Based on just photographs of me being there, no, I could not tell.
He never said who was in any room.
This is the main bed, which typically is occupied by the adults of the household.
So you wouldn't be able to assess whether Miss Milete took a lot of makeup before she was gone from the house, right?
No.
Why would she take makeup, but she wouldn't take her hairdryer or her purse or anything else, but just her makeup.
I would know.
You would not be able to assess based on your visit there and your photographs whether she had some clothes, correct?
Correct.
Same thing with her purses.
Correct.
Was there anything that you saw that day inside that house that was suspicious to you that a crime occurred inside that house?
That's not my job to determine whether or not a crime has occurred. My job is to document the scene that I'm at.
As just a lay person, did you see anything that would lead you to believe that a crime was committed inside the house?
She knows darn well that that's not his job. Again, she's just aiming to kill his credibility, I think, looking for a wrong answer.
I'm not a lay person. I'm an expert in forensic. I'm a forensic specialist. I'm an expert in crime scene documentation and evidence collection, so I don't consider myself a lay person.
Well, then, as a crime scene investigator or specialist, did you have any opinion as to whether a crime was committed inside the house?
Once again, it's not my job to determine whether or not a crime has occurred. I document a crime scene as it is when I arrive.
How do you know that it's a crime scene?
That's a term that is given to this scene from police work, from the detectives. This case, it was a search warrant scene, but generally called a crime scene.
Do you know when that place became a crime scene?
Objection made.
You can absolutely understand. No, I don't know if that place has ever been a crime scene.
Again, she's just looking to attack his credibility and get him to say something that she can hold against him. But she knows full well that none of that is his job. I mean, she's an experienced lawyer.
So you were just taking photographs, right?
And collecting evidence and preparing a sketch.
And when you collected those items inside the house, what did you do with them?
Those items were packaged at the scene, then transported back to the police department.
So as soon as you took those items, you packed them up and loaded them in your vehicle?
That's correct.
And then you transported them to the Chula Vista Police Department?
Correct.
Is that right?
That's right.
And when you reached the Chula Vista Police Department, you listed them one by one?
When I arrived at the Chula Vista Police Department
Right.
on January 23rd, 2021, they were secured within our evidence exam. At a later date, that is when they were photographed again, packaged and sealed, and then submitted to the evidence.
When you say secured, what do you mean by that?
They're in a locked room with limited access. Only a certain number of people are allowed to go into that room.
Are you allowed to enter the secured room?
Yes, I'm allowed to enter that secure room.
And you have you seen those items since you took them from the house of Mr. Mileti?
I have not removed those items from our property room since I submitted them into evidence.
So that means you didn't re-examine them again, right?
That's correct.
Did you take any firearms with you on that day, January 23rd?
Yes, I did.
How many firearms
I
did you
believe
take?
I took 4 or 5 rounds.
Are you able to identify those firearms today if they are presented to you?
I would be able to identify them, yes.
When you identified the firearms, did you list any identifying numbers on your inventory list?
If those firearms had a serial number, yes, I would document that serial number. If the actual ones that I recovered that day, I would have to refer to my report to tell you if they did have serial numbers or not.
Today, as you sit here, do you remember writing the serial number on the inventory list?
I would have to refer to my report.
What? What kind of question is that?
And were those firearms stored in the same locked, secured room as the other items?
They were temporarily stored in the exam room until they were packaged and submitted into evidence, yes.
Were you personally present when that was happening?
When what was happening?
As far as the firearms, the processing and transferring or packaging, were you actually present when they were doing that?
Objection vague. It's been vague.
Do you understand the question?
Yes.
Over.
Once an item of evidence is recovered at the crime scene or search warrant, that item is in my property. I maintain custody of that item all the way through until it is submitted.
We don't need to hear him repeat himself.
At that point,
The employees in our property and evidence room.
How many firearms were left inside the house after you took those 4 firearms on January 23, 2021?
I don't know how many were left in the house.
Did you have an opportunity to count the total firearms inside the safe?
No, just the ones that I took out of the safe.
Is there any reason why you only took 4?
Those are the ones I was instructed to take.
Okay, this is when I'm going to start the sound effects, because at this point she is going on a fishing expedition for what evidence they haven't produced yet, and the judge is going to pull her up on that. So this is where it starts to get to be a little bit fun.
When you were taking photographs inside the house, was there any portion of the house besides the safe that contained any firearms?
Not that I recall, no.
When you were there on January 23rd, 2021, did you open the cabinets inside the house?
That's outside of my job duties. That will be done by those officers who search the house.
So the cabinets were not part of your job as a forensic specialist?
If a detective who searches a cabinet determines that there's evidence relevant to this case or incident, then yes, I'll photograph inside of that cabinet to document what item of evidence was recovered from that cabinet.
Okay. How long were you inside and outside of that residence on January 23, 2021?
I believe we arrived there approximately 4:30 in the afternoon, and we left around 10. So close to 5.5 hours.
And while you were photographing the area, were the children inside the rooms?
No, they were not.
Where were the children?
I don't recall.
The photograph of the front of the house Did you see any damage to any of the
That was the sound of a lure, by the way.
or the furnishings that were in the front of that house?
Not that I recall, and not that I forward.
How about the backyard? Were there any damage to the backyard, fencing, lawn?
Not that I noted or photographed.
Anything suspicious at all in the exterior of the house?
I'm not aware of their living conditions, so I wouldn't know what's normal and what's suspicious at that house.
Okay. Is there any reason why you did not take photographs of the attic?
At this time, the search warrant was for missing persons. There were a number of people within that house that had special conditions.
She's baiting him again.
The family out. We didn't want to cause too much trouble to them, so it was decided to not photograph the attic at that time.
Did you take photographs of the drainage inside the house?
No,
Did you see any evidence of any blood splatter inside the house?
yes, I did.
Okay, can you tell us about that?
Yes, in the main bedroom bathroom, above one of the vanities, there appeared to be reddish brown stains that were less than 1 millimeter in size. Those stains were tested using a presumptive blood test, and that test came back positive.
Is it positive for human blood?
It's positive that the reaction worked. There are a number of false positives for this test. So to say that it's human blood, I could not do that. I can say that it tested positive using that presumptive test.
How big an area inside the house that contained that blood that you're referring to?
It was probably a 2 foot by 3 foot area.
Can you describe the appearance of the blood?
Yes, there were reddish brown stains that were less than 1 millimeter in size with a sparse distribution.
Can you describe the coloration?
Coloration
Is
of
it red? Is it brown? Is it black?
coloration of the blood or the
Yes.
ball?
What you saw?
They're reddish brown.
Okay. At that point, when you saw that, did you consider that area as a crime scene or possibly a crime scene?
I determined that area to be an area with blood stains. I don't know if it's a crime scene or not. I don't know how those blood stains were produced, how they ended up on the wall, so I couldn't say if it was a crime scene or not. Once again, I'm there just to document the scene. I'm not there to make a determination of whether this crime was committed.
So it's not your duty to arrive at the final conclusion as to whether that's blood or not.
No, that's beyond the scope of my job. That blood would be sampled and those samples would be sent to the San Diego Sheriff's Office to determine whether or not that's human blood.
Did you see the final results of those tests?
No, I did not.
Did you see any blood in any of the other areas of the house besides the one that you just described?
The bathroom, connected to the main bedroom, that area was also examined using another presumptive blood test. The whole bathroom, including the tub areas, were sprayed with chemical named Blue Star. This chemical reacts with blood to give a chemiluminescence. I did spray the bathroom, and there was one other area that exhibited this chemiluminescence. I photographed that area and then collected the sample.
They're very, very, very concerned about the blood evidence. They're putting a lot of effort towards digging into what they found out about the blood evidence.
How many photographs did you take of the area?
I don't know.
Your usual practice.
Of a general scene or of the chemiluminescence?
The area where you found the blood.
Maybe 10 total. Prior to doing the presumptive test, maybe a couple, maybe 3 while doing the test, depending on if I captured what I needed to.
And you took measurements of the area, correct?
Yes.
What's she doing? Drawing a
Were
diagram?
there animals inside the house when you visited Mr. Miletti's house?
Not that I remember.
Stopping at 4.
Okay, and we. I'm almost finished, Jan. Just
Animals. She's suggesting that the biological stuff was not blood.
We're going to stop. All right.
okay.
We're recessing for today. Sir, you're ordered back tomorrow at 9.
That was good.
Irrelevant.
Well, you were. What's the purpose? Excuse me.
There's an objection.
I'm sorry.
Objected on relevancy grounds. What is your response to that? To me.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm trying to determine the scope and the completeness of that investigation that day. And it appears that the officer was actually the one who may have spoken to him first before the whole team went in. So I just want to explore that to see if in fact she was able to elicit or determine or obtain any information that would be relevant to the investigation. That Mr. Miletti was in fact either involved or maybe he was a suspect in the case at that time. So we're still trying to discover the evidence that they have that they're implicating Mr. Miletti into this alleged disappearance of his wife.
My objection would be these Penal Section 866 and main grounds would be relevance, and I think the question could be asked whether or not he was tasked with taking any kind of statement from the defendant, but to that extent, I don't think that that was his job. He's not describing that's his job. That's not relevant.
The objection is sustained. You can rephrase. You want to ask what his role was. Here as a forensic specialist, his role is to take photographs. He's outlined what his duties are. Same objection. You can attempt to walk further regarding just what he did. Additionally,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Additionally, counsel, witnesses testified that he's not a sworn piece.
Is there any reason why you spoke to Mr. Larry Miliade at
Yeah.
that time?
Yes, there is.
What's the reason?
I was instructed to recover a reference mouth swab from Mr. Milete.
Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
What procedure did you follow to do that?
I explained to Mr. Milete what I was going to do, and I proceeded to do that.
So how many mouth swabs did you obtain from him?
One mouth swab consisting of 2 sterile cotton swabs.
Did you also take any additional mouth swabs to the civilian people inside the house?
No, I did not.
So you did not take the mouth swab of Mr. Milete's father,
Correct.
as well as the children and his son.
That is correct as well.
I forgot to mention this part of the video comes from Chasing Truth. So if you want to watch the whole video again, her link is in the description. And I will also just try to blur out some of the comments from her audience because I don't really want to dox or do anything like that. So give me a second to add a blur filter here. Okay, blur filter added.
Back to the police department. It was secured in our exam room until I had time to document and package that item. After that, it was submitted into our evidence and property room.
If I understood you correctly, the mouth swabs were after you took them from Similetis' mouth, you put them in a preservative, or
No,
so you just took the swab and then put it where?
the swab was packaged in a manila envelope.
Manila envelope?
Correct.
How long were they in the Manila envelope?
She's probably going to try and claim contamination.
To the right person.
Objection beyond the scope.
So your response?
He's forensic specialist, Your Honor. And so I want to make sure the procedure he was following as a forensic specialist has been in fact.
There is an objection that your questions are beyond the scope of the direct examination. And I do not recall Ms. Bowles eliciting any testimony regarding DNA collection during her direct examination. So, Ms. Bowles, what is your response?
Beyond the scope.
The-
I did not elicit any testimony with regard to collection or analysis of biological records.
May I respond to that? Your Honor?
Yes.
And I'd be happy actually to sidebar that.
The sidebar reported.
Back to the same address and take additional photographs.
Yes, I did.
In what date was that?
That was July 1st of 2020.
And what was the reason for your trip to the same property?
Objection beyond the scope.
Counsel.
Well, I just, did you take photographs?
Counsel,
Excuse me, Your Honor.
respond to the objection.
Your Honor, this is a forensic specialist for the Chula Vista Police Department, and he stated his role as a forensic specialist. He's supposed to take photographs. I'm just now exploring what other photographs he took.
What is the relevance of him going there on a future date?
Objection. Fishing.
In January?
Just for completeness and thoroughness of the appearances of the, possibly you have, as they claim, a crime scene. So we want to see if there's any alteration or difference or repairs or whatever. So I would like to see those photographs as well. Make sure that, we're looking at the same photographs that he took.
The objection is sustained. The scope, examination, and questions are aimed at discovery. The preliminary hearing is not to be used for discovery.
Okay, Your Honor. Based on your ruling, then that would be, I do not have any more questions for this witness, unless counsel is going to do a redirect and I should be allowed to do a request.
So there you go. She went on a fishing expedition and she got burned. So basically what we got from that whole thing is, according to the defense, Maya grabbed her makeup, her clothes, but presumably, not her hairdryer and other things that were on the counter, maybe even a toothbrush, cleaned out money and jewelry from the safe and climbed down the balcony via a ladder and went out the front gate to go for a morning walk. And I'm just putting these things together from the way she asked all these questions. But anyway, my main takeaway from this whole shebang is the blood spatter evidence. Like, we're going to have to get to, I guess, another expert during the trial phase to find out what the results were of those tests and if it was human blood. But they are stressing really hard about the blood spatter evidence. And I am going to assume that the ceiling was replaced, speculation warning, because it also had blood spatter evidence on it. But, even the best crime scene cleanup can't hide everything. And clearly Larry wasn't as good at it as he thought he was. Anyway, the last couple of minutes, it's about 8 minutes, I guess, is redirect. So we'll just get through redirect and then we'll be done with this episode.
Just to clarify, what is your job at the scene, in this particular case, at the scene of the search warrant on January 24th?
My duties were to document the crime scene using photographs and sketching methods and to recover evidence.
You, on cross-examination, there was a question asked of you about a recovery of a swab from the bathroom. Do you recall that question?
Yes, I do.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is it fair to say then that your job is simply to collect a swab from that biological evidence that's pointed out to you essentially by a detective?
Objection, reading.
Overruled.
Is at this, I'll rephrase it. When a detective locates what they believe to be biological evidence, what is generally your job at that point?
My job is to recover the biological evidence.
And so in the case of, for example, a potential drop of blood, what would be your job, or what was your job when a suspected drop of blood or blood material was found in the bathroom?
I recovered a sample of that substance using sterile cotton swabs.
And is it your job then to request to have it tested?
No, it is not.
Is it your job to find out what the results are from the analysis?
No, it is not.
Is that the detective's job?
That's correct.
Okay. And so if the detective submitted that to the sheriff's department for analysis, is it your job to examine the results of that analysis?
No, it is not.
So whether or not that blood came back to May Millette, that's not something that you even have information about.
That is correct.
And I want to just ask you a couple of other questions. Documentary evidence that is located at the scene of a search warrant, is that something that you also take a photograph of?
Yes, it is.
And did you do that in this case?
Yes.
Now, may I approach the witness with the exhibits?
Yes.
One, do you recognize that photograph to be a photograph you took on January 23rd?
Yes, I recognize this photograph.
Checking that up on the screen, 20-1. Photograph that's projection up on the screen, the same as the exhibit you're looking at in front of you?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, is it your job to strike that? Is the detective determines where that evidence is and then points that out to you to take a photograph of?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then do you oftentimes then, once it's collected back at the station, take another photograph of it?
Yes.
And what would this be a photograph of?
This is a photograph of a page from a notebook that was found inside the main bedroom.
Photograph 20-2. You recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And looking at 20-2, and, oops, I'm sorry, is that a document that you located at the residence
Yes, it is.
and then took a photograph of later on?
Yes.
20-3, you recognize that photo?
Yes, I do.
And is the photo up on the screen the same as 20-3 in the binder in front of you?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and what's that a photograph of?
It's a photograph of a rifle and shotgun that was located within the safe in the first floor closet.
What about 20-4? Do you recognize what that is a photograph of?
Yes, I do.
And is 20-4 up on the screen the same as the photograph in the binder?
Yes, it is.
What is that a photograph of?
This is a photograph of that rifle that was recovered from the safe. This photograph was taken during my evidence documentation processing while at the police department.
So once you collect the evidence at the scene, you take it back to the police department,
That's correct.
and then do you do a second set of photos then to document whatever was collected?
Yes.
So this photograph would be part of that series of photos.
Correct.
Okay. Looking at 20-5, do you recognize what that is a photograph of?
Yes, I do.
What is that a photograph of?
What's projected is the same that's in the binder. This is a photograph of a computer screen in Laura's bedroom.
And 20-6, do you recognize what's up on the screen to be the same photograph? 20-6 in the binder in front of you?
Yes, it is.
And what is this a photograph of?
This is a photograph of the computer screen. It's a closer photograph of the search history.
And the 20-1 through 20-6, those are all photos that you took.
Yes, they are.
Thank you.
I just want to go back and read what it says because it was a little bit quick.
Redirect. I'm sorry, recross.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer, did you also take photographs of the other firearms that you took that day?
Yes, I did.
No fishing now.
the letter that was from,
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Council.
it's okay. Um, that letter that you just stated that you photographed, where was that located? Inside the bedroom? What part of the bedroom did you find it?
That letter was recovered from the dresser that is adjacent to the door, the entry door of the main bedroom.
It was inside a drawer, right?
That's right.
Did you find any other items that contained also some letters in it?
I recovered another letter. Yes.
I have no other questions, Your Honor.
Redirect.
No, Your Honor.
So there you go. The main takeaways there is the blood spatter evidence. They're obviously panicking about that. The searches on the computer, that was interesting. Ways to torture without physical harm. Interesting, right? And of course, they didn't cover it in this. Oh, I think that actually might have been what the letter was. It was too blurry to see on the screen. I think the letter was the requests that he made to the spellcaster, things that he could have done to her. So yeah, those are the main takeaways for that. So in the next episode, we're going to start listening to some witnesses. I wanted to do like the main evidence first, because the witnesses are not as strong evidence as the actual evidence is. The blood spatter, the results from the blood spatter tests, and the photographs and whatnot. So, yeah, so we've now covered, the main evidence. So what we'll do next video is we will go into what the witnesses had to say, and again we will upload it as a premiere. I don't know why I forgot that word, but I did. It just fell out of my head at the most inopportune time. But yeah, we'll do it as a premiere again, so we can all get back together and discuss what's going on as again. So just to finish off, the sound effects that I added were removed again, because I was trying to remove the courtroom ambience, and so you heard towards the end there the redirect was with the courtroom ambience, but she was talking way too quietly for me to use that filter to block out the courtroom ambience. So I took it off for that particular period, so you would have heard it in that last little bit. The other, the defense lady, she speaks into the microphone a lot louder. She's not as quiet, so I could apply the effects to her particular, her speaking into the microphone. But anyway, the sound effects are gone, so sorry. They were the sounds of, a fishing line being tossed, and a reel clicking and luring, and yeah. Anyway, I spoilt that by too aggressive sound manipulation. Well, happens to the best of us, right? Anyway, tune in to the next episode, and we'll talk then. Bye.